All right, we are recording. Technically, it's not quite the right profile, but I've got things. Things are just so weird at the moment. Anyway, so this is, as it says there, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt version 4.03. This is important, but I should also explain that if I don't sound as good as I normally do, which isn't that good anyway, I'm having significant issues with my audio interface. I've actually ordered a new one and it might be here tomorrow, but I want to get this done today, so I'm using my wireless headset, which hopefully, I mean, one thing I'm concerned about is maybe clipping. I think I'll be okay, but yeah, I'm going to turn it down a little bit further. Um, so hopefully that'll take care of it. The audio processing I do will probably lift it up. So long as I don't clip, it should be fine. All right, so I think I've done this video 3 times. Well, this will be the third time because version 4 was the next gen update for The Witcher 3, which is a game I love, and I still think it looks very good. Then they did 4.01 that addressed various things. I don't remember when it was that they added back in at least one setting that people wanted, including myself. And now we're on 4.03. Why no 4.02 for me? Because they kind of also had a bug in there that I couldn't collect data in. But I actually have data from 4.01 that I do intend to also use in the article I write up. In fact, I already wrote up a lot of it. And then it's like, oh, new update. I'm not going to delete all this. And I've collected data with base64. The RTX 2080 is in now, so we will be able to look at ray tracing. No, the performance is not that good, but this is the graphics quality analysis, so that's what matters, the graphics quality, not the performance. And hopefully things don't crash. That was actually also one of the things that they fixed. That might have been with 03. I don't know if that was in 02, but apparently, and I did experience this, if you turned ray tracing on and off, or individual things on and off, while in the game, it had a risk of crashing at least. So anyway, another thing though with 4.03, XeSS has been added. FSR and DLSS, actually I think DLSS has been there for a while, but FSR was added with the next gen update. 4.03 though added XeSS, so we will be looking at that. We have HBAO Plus, which is not with that was there in the original release of the game back in 2016, I think. But the next gen upgrade they did. Oh, and by the way, I have the game just muted. Hopefully, I will remember to turn it back on. Okay. Yeah, it was only SSAO just on off. They then changed it to add in HBAO Plus, which is worth it in my opinion. But we will look at that. Motion blur. These things right here are actually not controlled by the presets. Neither are these. Oh, actually no, they might be. Now I don't quite remember. But these aren't, which is fine with me, because I consider things like motion blur, blur in general, bloom, depth of field, chromatic aberration, all those I consider as a personal choice kind of stuff, and I don't like most of them. I'm okay with bloom, light shafts, and camera lens effects. Those are okay to me. Okay, and then we've got these. So if I mess with these presets in DirectX 12, this has been an issue for a few versions now, a few of these updates. These get changed, and they shouldn't, or at least not how they are. Like if I hit high here, it'll actually turn these off. I don't know why. The DirectX 11 launcher, the DirectX 11 exe doesn't do that. We're not going to look at that. We don't need to. Because all the graphics are the same. It's just we lose ray tracing, obviously. We lose the different supersampling methods, which, well, they're not supersampling methods, upscaling methods, which at least, I'm pretty sure FSR and DLSS should be DirectX 11 compatible. I guess they just didn't decide to put it in. But if I hit Ultra, these also get screwed up. But there is on, which means everything that has hair gets hair works. Geralt means just Geralt. The anti-aliasing level, and the different presets. A whole 2 of them. Then we've got these settings. Some of these, fairly obvious how it'll work. This one, though, I do want to mention. So you have the benefit of, I've already collected a bunch of data, and most of it is still going to be accurate. Some things have improved, definitely, though. This has not. So foliage visibility range. If you are playing on DirectX 11, And there's plenty of reasons to do that. It actually tends to perform better, has been my observation, but I need to collect more data to confirm. DirectX 12 is performing better in this update than previous ones. I know that, though. Foliage visibility range. If it goes to Ultra or Ultra Plus, even on the 2080 here, the RTX 2080, the most powerful GPU I have, I know there's plenty more powerful than it, but it's the most powerful, most advanced GPU I have in my collection. If it is on Ultra or Ultra Plus with DirectX 11, it will stutter. So it needs to be on high. Fortunately, the visibility impact isn't all that bad, but that's also what we're going to be looking at. I doubt that they've retuned things. All right, so I guess we can get into it. Actually, I am going to do this and this. Just because it should help the video be a little cleaner. I am using a capture card though, so it actually shouldn't matter too much. But still, it might not hurt. Yes. No. It's E for other things, so I hit E instead of Enter. I think I'll do this, even though it's not so interesting. But that's what I'm going to do. I do need to grab something, though. I promise it will make sense what I'm doing. But I need to get my phone ready with a timer on it. So here's what I'm going to do. I know the paths that I take to collect data because I've already collected a lot of it. I'm going to be collecting more, but I'll show you what those are. So you know. And it also will give us a sense of how this actually looks. How the game looks at the high preset, which I always try to collect data on, and also, hang on. There, turn the audio on. So from here, timer's going for 5 minutes. And I have the VSync and frame limiter on, so this isn't going to give us a sense of performance at the moment, but at least we're building up, what the world looks like at the high preset. And to fill time, the reason I use the high preset is basically every game has a high preset, so I try to collect that on everything so that, comparisons. Like I can compare the GTX 980 I have to the 2080 because I collect at high. The 980, I think that I'd have to check. I think that actually needs to go down to medium. Yeah, let me look. Since nice thing about this is all I have to do is hold shift to the things on autopilot. For DirectX 12, when I collected it before, but I can't expect the performance to be a little bit better, it was the medium preset that I used on the 980. Because I see that that's what it took to get 60 FPS, whereas the 2080 here is capable of Ultra Plus. So the highest non-ray tracing set of stuff. So there. Sometimes I need to take manual control, so I go down the right path. But this is the same 5-minute long path. I mean, the save is from February, and I think I initially collected data before that because I was using like a version 1.31 or whatever it was beforehand save. But I decided let's just resave it so it's in the newer version. Yeah. Now it is going to get a little bit weird in a minute and a half or so, I think. Because there does come a point on this path. This isn't the case for the other two. The other two I've basically got down precisely. This one, though, there does come a point where see that windmill in the background? Right by that, when we get there, where Roach, the horse, starts taking a random path, and I've tried to keep it kind of controlled, especially more recently, but it does vary some. So manual control here so we don't hit the house, and manual control here, because otherwise the horse will just run into the side of the bridge. And there's also an overturn part up here that I try to avoid running my head into. Fortunately, it's really easy. You can just hit forward so he doesn't keep turning into it. Or she, actually. I think Roach is technically female. Not
Come on now.
That's what I tried to avoid, but I started doing it too late. And that, by the way, for anyone wondering, I wouldn't throw out a data run for that. Variability like that isn't a problem. I collect 5 minutes worth per location. Variability is fine. Alright, so here it's gonna go like this, and then sudden turn. Turn again, and at this point I don't know what happens. Okay, so going this way. What I've been doing though is turning back this way, because the roach would actually just keep going straight. So turning back this way. So he's gonna get back onto this road. I'm gonna have him turn left. When I was initially collecting some data months ago, he would turn right, or at least go towards an estate that's to the east, so that's behind me. Basically, I'm making it where it go down this path, and chances are we got about a minute left. We'll be ending near a bridge. I don't think we'll actually be setting hoof on it, but we might. Why did I select any of these locations? Well, this one I selected because when I originally played the game and collected data, actually I don't remember if I collected data or just I was using it as the run. It was actually like this. So the marker, the manual marker, is actually to where I used to go to. But right now I don't really care. Just let the horse basically follow the path it wants to. It works nicely. I like it in games when it can do that, and it's reasonably calm and very repeatable. Sometimes I do need to do some corrections, but it's not that bad. And we have about 5 seconds left. I'm going to keep going just to help you see further. See that bridge up there? Sometimes the runs actually get to that bridge, and one of them I actually was on it. I'm not sure how I managed that. Because, this is a big difference. I wasn't stopped. Well, no. Sometimes at the windmill, the horse turns immediately. But yeah, so from February, but yeah, 4.0 was December 1.24. So this is actually what that original, this save is from. It's actually this, it's from this one, so. Alright, so here's the next location that I collect data on. This one's a bit different because it's all manual. You'll see what I mean. So I need to turn the camera, but I also need to adjust some things. I don't have a desk for when I'm on the test system. I have my can do that much. Alright, but yeah, so I'd start collecting data, then start running, and this is the path. And my hand is off of the mouse. But the point I was getting to is that when I need to use the mouse, it's kind of awkward because of how I have to reach over to where my mouse is very awkwardly, and just my keyboard tray for my desk, it was going to collide with my elbow, so I needed to adjust it.
Long live.
Why is it keyboard trays have gone out of function in favor? I don't know why. I like them. I'm thinking about it, it basically gives you so much more free space to clutter your desktop. What insult am I gonna get? Oh, none. They're just hacking. So often, one of the old guys, they'll yell some sort of insult at me. Yeah, so my hand is off the mouse, so the camera movement is just tracking Geralt's position until the very end, because basically I get to the end of an alley, and if I go too far, it triggers a cutscene that I don't want. So I will stop before then, just like run left and right, left and right, left and right, and then I may grab the mouse so the camera doesn't turn a whole bunch. I can show you when we get there.
We'll have order at last.
I don't remember what I named the locations, but this one would obviously be named Novigrad. Because that's, at least I'm pretty sure that's where we are, though. This is Novigrad. That or the first one was Novigrad, and this is a different city. The third one is Skellige. I know that.
Thanks for your help, Carol. We're not enough.
I should also try to come back here for the ray tracing, because the global illumination, there's something coming up here that I do notice it, and it's like, yeah, that would be better. It would be nice if it were a bit more accurate, because, like, I mean, look at how much we're in shade here, but look at how illuminated everyone is. I will grant, this is one thing that rasterization has on. Like, that guy should not be that bright. Neither should that one. Or this guy. Actually, no, he is a little bit standing in sunlight. It really doesn't look like that they are dimmed enough for in shadow. And that's something that, in theory, ray trace global illumination would address. But at the same time, the performance hit is huge. Like, just having that on at the performance level will tank this down to 30, 40 FPS. Actually, I think it is around 40. And what it takes to get that back up is noticeable in the image degradation. Yeah, the RTX 2080 has, in some ways, not held up well. Mainly that's just for ray tracing. Rasterization is still fine. But it does... I'd have to check, but I do want to say that now, you know, some of the $300, $400 cards are definitely matching the 2080, which, what was it, a $600? No, that should have been more than $600. Because 600 is... Actually, no, maybe that would be right. I don't remember now. It's been long enough.
Unorthodox books. Grimoires and tracts blaspheming the sacred flame especially. I think I'm in love.
One thing I should also add, though, that what I was just talking about with the global illumination, maybe making that look better, it also might not. And for the performance hit that comes with it, I wouldn't... I'm still not a fan of ray tracing, is the point I'm getting to. Huh, that's kind of weird. Him floating there.
The lady took me aside the other day, accused me of mismanagement.
Power of the eternal.
But, I mean, yeah, it's...
Ram.
I do not believe that ray tracing at the moment is worth it for what it gives you. Because also, I mean, just... And this is actually one of the things with the HBAO Plus being added back in, is that... now, we're not seeing it now, but you'll notice the vegetation, none of it is actually casting shadows. It's like, that's something that you can absolutely achieve with rasterization. If I were to turn on ray tracing, and we will see it later, there will be shadows cast by the vegetation, by the grass here. But it's, as I was saying, you can do that in rasterization. They just didn't with the next gen update. But when we got HBAO Plus back in, it was adding it. So yeah. So okay. So I'd stop about here and just go back and forth like this, and I'm using the mouse to just make sure. Hang on. I need to stop the timer. Just to make sure that the camera doesn't do that. It is weird. The camera actually does have a bias, probably because you're over the right shoulder. But anyway, so that's that one. And actually, here, let me quickly, not that one. Okay, first one was Oxenfurt. This is Novigrad. Now we're going to Skellige. So this one is a little mixed. I think I did a decent job selecting them, though. You'll see what I mean when we get there. Again, though, I have to turn the camera.
I battled in worse weather than this.
That I battled in worse weather than this. I basically always have that captured. Oh, no, this way. It's like I've already started recording by the time that guy says that. I can still remember. I want to replay all the Witcher games, but I still remember because the way I played, I cleared the main continent completely before I came to Skellige. And one of the things that still sticks with me is I'd gotten so used to how Novigrad, how Oxenfurt, and all the lands between looked. So it was getting kind of bland. This is still a beautiful looking game. Other ways it could be better, yeah, but this is still beautiful. I may have just killed that dog. Now I have to take manual control, by the way, because Roach will just run us into things. And then I turn this way manually and basically try to continue on the road that we're coming to here. This way, and we're good now. There's another fork I have to correct. Anyway, I still remember when I originally reviewed the game, but once I'm like, okay, I'm done with Novigrad, have all that finished off. Now I'll go to Skellige and start clearing that, and when getting here, it is such a beautiful, beautiful island country, essentially. Like, it had different palette of colors, the lighting was so much more interesting and engaging. I'm not sure if this area really shows it that well. I have murdered so many sheep collecting data, but I mean it really is a much better looking game. Much better looking area in the game, and it was just it was refreshing for me because I'd already spent so many dozens of hours in the game, and then it's like I come here and it's like, it was wonderful, it really was. And that lighthouse over there, that's one of the places that I did the prior called it graphics quality analyses. And this is actually what I would do for collecting the data, although I'd try not to fall down. I have a little bit more time here. Basically, I stay here until there's about 2 minutes left, which is, for some of the runs, about how long it takes for me to kill all these guys that are actually attacking me. There are sometimes others, but see how he just put his sword away, so I know I'm done. Sorry, I'm also looking away because I wanted to check on my audio levels. I'm so looking forward to, in theory, new audio interface tomorrow. It's going to be a fun thing to mess with too. Just it's got some neat technology there. But dialing it in will be a little tricky. I'm not sure. I haven't bumped the mouse. There we go. I'm not sure why the camera wasn't following. Not too concerned about that. But okay, so now we're gonna fight these two, which we have a little bit of help with. But I mean, oh wow, I don't remember that ever happening before. Talk to this guy.
I hurt you badly.
I'm fine. I really showed him, didn't I?
You did.
Either works, but I try to take the first one.
Ha!
I mean, it's like the timing things is about the same though.
Pasture. The sheep beasts of Unvik come to steal our sheep, so we gotta manage somehow. But enough chatter. My brother awaits. Thanks for the help, stranger. Your gods grant ye health.
Okay, and turn back this way. Go through the carnage that I left from the sheep. And we have about 40 seconds left. So yeah, as I said, this one's a bit mixed because on the horse and on foot. But also the combat in there. So it's I think that these three locations, these three paths are, are good enough. Or yeah, that they're good enough. I'm hesitant to say representative because it's really hard to say what is and isn't representative. I mean, it's definitely for these areas, and it's like I'm pulling 15 minutes worth of data for each GPU and each graphics configuration. So, yeah. All right, so the timer would have. I stopped the timer, but it would have already gone off by now. So I just saw I got an email. Newegg saying $124 off the 5800X 3D, which is what I am using. This is oh jeez, I did that upgrade so long ago. This is the first performance analysis that is actually using the 5800X 3D with 32 gig of 3600 megatransfer RAM. All right, so I'm just trying to decide. Well, here, why don't we do that? So now let's actually start looking at some of the graphics stuff. I'm not gonna do ray tracing just yet. I want to do that somewhere else. I have a reason, but I want to turn this on. could have sworn maybe it's just because of this location. Well, let me look at it again. Here. No, it did definitely. If you look around in here, I'm pretty sure you will see if I go back to HBAO Plus. Yeah, there is more darkening there. There is more shadow there, which makes sense because of the vegetation. But if I turn that back to this, turn that on. You see how there's a little bit of the dimming there, as is appropriate. Turn those on though. You see now I've actually got full shadows. Now, I don't know if we really need the full shadows. Let me just... Yeah, so the full shadows there are controlled by that, but turn that off. So yeah, we are losing something like right around the bases there. The some shading. I will grant that is subtle. But it's still, once you notice it missing, you notice it. But it's like, I mean, I just turned HBAO Plus on now, and it is actually a lot dimmer. To give you that idea, but it is also... Oh, that's actually really funny that this is performing decently right here. I don't know why. Oh, wait, no, I do know why. Because I test at the RT preset, which pushes all those up to Ultra Plus. Okay, see, this is actually part of the reason why I wanted to do the graphics quality analysis on the 2080 before I get to any more GPUs. So while I've repeated the tests I've done before, this I didn't do. Try collecting more RT data where it is RT with high preset. Because that actually is totally reasonable to me. That what is actually going on here is the RT preset is bad. That it shouldn't. There should be the high preset with ray tracing turned on. But did you see here how it keeps the hairworks off? Yeah, so that's back on. Yeah. So yeah, well here I'll just show you. Can you see the stutter? It's a micro stutter. So this is actually right now I'd estimate around 50 maybe FPS. But for comparison, high is like 130, 140. Okay, so we're talking about cutting this maybe in a third. A little bit better than a third, but not as good as only cutting it in half. Alright, so back to high. Turn hairworks back on. Let's actually... no, it wouldn't be any of those. Wouldn't be that. Alright. I know what I want to show you, I just don't know how well I can get it to happen. Although, you know what? No, that can wait. I want to show you something with the hairworks. I don't like the hairworks on. On Geralt, it's fine, but if you... and this isn't going to change. I'm sure that nothing has changed with that. Although performance has. At least related to hairworks. My opinion, if you feel that the performance hit from hairworks is too high, go ahead and turn it off. The difference is not that bad. I mean, look at his hair here. And actually, it's going to vanish. If I turn this off, he's going to be without hair, I think it is. Or maybe it's when you turn it back on. Okay. Does it look worse than hairworks? Than tessellated hair? Yes. But does this hair still look good? Yes, it still looks good. So if you need the extra performance by turning off hairworks, go ahead and do it. Absolutely off is the minimum acceptable there. And this is just, it has to make it. Alright, So we're going to look at the ray tracing now, which the spot I actually like doing it around here is up ahead of us. The reason why, and I do want to give it a look in more places. Now that I have so much more experience in the game and the graphics quality, but I like it here because we have the water, we have the vegetation, and we've got stuff in the distance. I want to say it's around here that I typically would go to. Okay. So, well, here, let me a little bit further up. Okay. So, we can see that there is some reflection here, and actually, hang on, I need to get a drink of water, so I'm going to turn off the mic for a moment. One thing nice about the headset, it's a lot easier and quieter to turn the mic on and off. I say and then immediately clear my throat without turning it off. That time I did turn it off. Okay, so we do have reflections in the water of what's here. And to be honest, I think this looks fine. The dominant color would be the color of the water in the sky. We also see a reflection over here of the sail there. So personally, I think this looks fine. I don't think that this needs to be improved upon, but we will see that it does get changed by ray tracing. And for now, though, we're just going to do RTGI, which it actually hasn't impacted the stuff back there too much. It may have impacted over here, though, in the grass. Yeah, it's a little bit darker. Like if you look in here, and I have screenshots from before, and I don't know if I could probably get away with just using those. But in here you will see it actually being darker, which is actually a good thing, because that actually was something that it was getting wrong before, or maybe that's one of the other settings, where I would see it, it might be one of the other settings, where it would actually be brighter, like in here, which makes absolutely no sense. Because it's like, no, if anything, ray tracing should be saying it needs to be this dark. Okay. Okay. So I really wanted to just see there. Oh, hang on. Let me make sure. Yes, I did. Okay, so this is with quality. I'm not seeing the difference. It might be screenshot differences. This isn't a good spot for the global illumination, I will be fair. But the reflections... Okay, why is nothing seemingly changing? I mean, there should be some changes. The fact that there aren't any is kind of a problem. And by the way, I know this is about the spot that I used before because of the perspective, and also this. Like this grass here, I remember it very well. No, I would have been collecting it this way. Yeah, I'm not sure why it seemingly is fine, performance-wise, and maybe they had actually improved stuff, which would be awesome. That would be awesome, but it means I have to do so much more work today, damn it. Alright, okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause the recording for a moment. I just want to figure out about taking screenshots and making sure I know where those files are going, and then I can pull them into GIMP and we can look at some stuff there. So I'm just going to pause, because that's going to be boring me pulling things up. Alright, I am back. So this is an older screenshot. This isn't from today. This is actually from February 5th. So this was, and as you can see, it's about the same location. I think this is actually a little bit further forward than I was. But then I'm standing right now, I mean. But you can see how this is, and this is ray tracing off. Here it is with global illumination. which basically just made lots of things dimmer, which is fine. This actually does look a little bit nicer right in here. There, that'll be a bit safer. Only a select tool. That does look a little bit nicer, but is it worth the performance hit? Not necessarily. But yeah, so some of the lighting, I mean, this is okay too, but it does seem like more so like we're looking through. But also pay attention, look how much dimmer it is here. That makes sense. This doesn't. This is ray tracing with ambient occlusion. Well, ray traced ambient occlusion, and it doesn't, like, look in this area right here. This is without it. This is with it. Why is it brighter? That's what I was talking about. It makes no sense why it would get brighter. Yeah. Some of the reflection stuff, though, gets really, really weird. So yeah, let me just... It's May 26th. I mean, you can see that in so many places. So this is the one I just took, and I do not remember the settings. Hang on. I want to label it. Okay, so this is RTGI. A new RTGI. Although, actually, I should label it performance. So this would be off. Put that there. There it is. So on, we'll leave that on performance and turn on RTAO. And there we go. So this one is RT off, then RTAO. Okay. So let's take a look at this stuff again. And it's not a problem if it's screenshot differences, but it's still, it's good to know. Oh yeah, look at that. Again, we've got that same, it's lighter, which just seems odd. Because why would it be brighter in an area that is clearly dense with foliage? But yeah, it does look like I was actually like standing more in this location for the other screenshots. Okay, but yeah, so ray tracing on and off. So on, made a bit brighter in here, which is fine. I'm okay with that. It changed the lighting back here, which is actually kind of funny that we're casting rays that far away. How much difference is that actually going to make? Yeah, this doesn't look bad, but it is also kind of wild to me. I'm definitely going to have to collect more data now. With the ray tracing on with the high preset, because as I said, I tend to, for things, work off of a preset if I can, especially for something like ray tracing that personally I don't care about. I fully acknowledge that. But if this works out where at the high preset, well, everything else at the high preset but ray tracing on is playable, you will bet I'm going to laud that. That's awesome. Okay, but that's not the experience it is if you just hit the RT preset. So, but it's also I love the game. I have respect for CD Projekt Red for the game for that reason. I mean, I haven't played Cyberpunk 2077 because I have a feeling by saying that some people would be like, I am laughing. But it's just I have no issue with criticizing that preset might just be junk. The RT preset might be junk. That's fine. I've got no issue saying that and being critical in that way. Anyway, it still is. This isn't that big a difference. And I am unconvinced. And it's also, what happens? Turn that off. Turn that on. There. And let's also that. By the way, I will just say, I love the fact that it's being rendered here. That is so helpful. Plus and RTGI perf HBAO plus. All right, let's have a look at this now. Yeah, that one. I'm gonna be rearranging them anyway. Rearranging the layers anyway, but it's still. Let's actually, yeah, let's all those off except for the base. There and then there. Okay, so just turning on HBAO plus gives us that. I mean, compared to just SSAO, it does definitely look better. I mean, look at the wood here, how much that changes. Now, it's also kind of funny, we turn on global illumination and does that here, but, oh. So HBAO plus is a little more aggressive at darkening it than, and here we can also be at 100%, than RTAO. RTAO is a little bit lighter. It does focus more of the darkness on the edge, which is fine. Although, actually, does that make practical sense? Because shouldn't this be partially submerged? Anyway, but it is still just the whole. I think you might be able to argue that HBAO plus on its own is getting us really close compared to SSAO. I mean, there's definitely there's a stronger contrast with RTAO. I mean, yeah, technically here we can see that it's less of a that there's actually less contrast from one side of the leaf to the other. Which may or may not be accurate. I want to say the sun though is up here, so. But if we look over here, we are getting a harsher contrast between like the blades of grass in the background. And also if you look over here, is it worth the performance hit? I don't know. But as we go back to SSAO. I do find that interesting though. That global illumination, that just RTGI with HBAO plus, and this is so much darker. But at the same time, it does make some sense, doesn't it? Because I mean, this is dark here. It is supposed to be dark. That does make some sense. It might be a little aggressive. And I don't know, because in case anyone is wondering, what happens if we have them both on? Oh, it actually does turn that off. Okay. So that isn't a concern. Okay. I mean, that does make sense. It honestly does. So that would make these three the ones to consider. Yeah, I can see an argument that this is too dark. So you might be happier with this compared to this. So with SSAO instead of HBAO. But it's still, I think that just this change here really does achieve a lot, because this is seemingly too bright. But it is also, as I was saying, and as I showed in the previous set of screenshots, RTAO was lightening things that it should not have been, in my opinion. But it is honestly looking better. So, yeah. I mean, it is honestly looking better. Let me. I'm just looking at the notes. So what I have is off for the minimum and on for the maximum. Because as I wrote months ago now, on is maximum because visually it does look good, but for gameplay purposes, this is still horizontal movement / screenshot difference. It is still screenshot difference in that I couldn't really point out to you going between them in the game. I do feel like changing that language, though. I'm not necessarily convinced it's worth it, but this does look better. This does look more accurate. And you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. Because as I said, I think you just need to be a little bit further up to be more... Yes, this is definitely it. Because I do remember that black splotch there. So let's... that off again and back to SSAO. Oh, yeah. Actually turn that off as well. Okay. But yeah, this is like much more the actual location I was standing in previously. Yeah, it actually does look like what issues I was finding before they may have fixed. Because I'm not seeing it really. But let's go back to this. So SSAO is like that. HBAO, come on, there we go. I think that is a little bit darker. Still looks good to me. Global illumination, and boy is it nice that I think it was 4.03. It might have been 4.02, but I think it was 4.03 that they addressed a potential crash when changing the ray tracing settings. Oh yeah, it's so much better because it's like I hit it and it's applied. Because before I'd hit it and it would chug, and then it would apply or it would crash. So this is the 4.03 is definitely the best I've seen of the version 4 updates. Okay, so I'm just 1 2 oh no, not that. SSAO, HBAO plus. Now this is RTGI and SSAO. And HBAO. A0? Not quite. Okay. And then just one left, which is that. There it is. All right. Isn't this exciting? This one, and I haven't even gotten to the differences yet. And this one. Okay. Oh wow. I mean, on the left side, the difference is not worth it, but on the right side, this actually might be. Just it does seem like it's doing a little bit of a better job making sure that it's the tops that are illuminated and the bottoms that are not than this, where it does seem like it's more, the right side is illuminated, the left side isn't. It's a bit more horizontal. SSAO is a bit better in that. So now we're seeing what I was talking about before, and is in the older screenshots. If you look at this, RTAO actually is brightening it, and that I don't think makes sense. Like if you look here, look at how much brighter it gets. That's in a dense area. So is over here, and still brightens. Yeah, I don't. That's the problem that I have with some of this. There. Another advantage to being on the wireless headset is not just turning the mic on and off. It's easy to get up and adjust something so there's less glare on the television. But yeah, so apparently this is just, camera angle kind of thing, location that determines how obvious that is. But yeah, it is problematic in my opinion. Now going between these looks fine. So it's apparently with the global illumination. So like here it actually is getting darker. It's not bright. Well, no, it actually does brighten right in here. We look. See how that background is suddenly much brighter? And I don't really see how that's reasonable. So yeah, this is what I would mean then by the horizontal image quality movement, where it does look good. In some ways it may look better, but in other ways it doesn't. In other ways it looks worse. So 6 one, half a dozen the other. Comes down to performance. And right now, that's going to lean towards RT off. But yeah. And then this with I could see either. I would probably look at the log over here. Look at that. On SSAO it just goes completely black, completely obscured. HBO Plus has it actually partially illuminated at least. Okay. There, and let me update these notes. Things do look a little better with the v4.03 update, but can still find where RTAO brightens an area. And that is weird to me. That genuinely is weird, and I'm not the happiest with that. I'm not. Another way to put it is I'm not convinced that is physically accurate, and isn't that kind of what we're going for? Okay. This one I'm not going to bother with screenshots on, but basically put that back to SSAO because I try to do everything off the high preset, and the high preset uses SSAO. Yeah, so this is performance. Well, I will take the screenshots because I can show you something neat you can do. That might have been the wrong time to take that screenshot. Oh, no, it did. Okay. The screenshot sound was made late. There we go. Okay. That should be performance. Oh, wait, no, because that's 2. Here. Okay. There is a difference. It is so slight. And if we do this, that actually tells us what the difference is. Holy crap, there is like nothing here. There. Been long enough since I've done stuff like this. Actually, yeah, what does auto give me? Whew. That's not helpful. Yeah, I think I just need to mess with it in here. I mean, yeah, it's clearly not too much. Exposure maybe? No, it'd probably be more so. Here we go. Reset me to that. So yeah, I'm not really. I mean, look at how much I've had to crank up the gain on the sensor essentially in order to get a difference here. To actually have it be visible. What the heck? Some of it's just kind of really weird and interesting in here. But it does also mean this is actually transparent. This right here is transparent. It's not just black, which I don't know why you would do it that way. Yeah, and also in there, it's kind of trippy. Neat. Anyway, but how much you have turned up before you actually see the difference. So, yeah, my note on, oh, all right. I don't know what screenshots I still need. I need, don't have, there. So I will hang on to those for now at least. But it is basically that this is not a me thinking that, well, what's in my notes, and okay, the sun is up there. I want to look this way. There. Actually turn a little bit more. Yeah, actually, let's see if we can get that to happen. There was one thing I had happening before. I don't know if it'll happen again here. Okay, it isn't. I don't see it happening here. But there's something else that is problematic. With just normal shadows, if you look here, that there's things sticking out of the bridge that are casting shadows. I turn on ray trace shadows and they disappear. But what I actually had seen before, and I think I do have the screenshots of, basically there was a huge shadow cast over here. The only thing that could possibly be casting is this tower. The only problem is the shadow, the sun is over here. So it would need to be over here to cast a shadow, and it made no sense. But I do think that they had patches in the update that were improving the performance of ray tracing. It looks like they may have also been improving the accuracy of ray tracing. We can, yeah. So that's. I mean, still is those should be there. It's like if it's in the screen space shadows, why would it not be there in the ray tracing shadows like that? So unless it's just the range is that limited, although it still casts a shadow for this. I don't know. But yeah, I was kind of hoping though it would get me that one shadow again. But let's turn that on. Okay, so now we definitely have more detailed reflections here. Do we care? Is the question. Personally, I don't. I mean, I get that, yes, we now have a lot more of the reflection of this, of all of this. I mean, we can see like half the town now here. That's nice. But is there anything wrong with this? I mean, you can still see half the town here. It's just less detailed. You can still see that the tower extends up there. Same here and here. I mean, we're getting more detail in the reflections, but realistically, we don't need the detail there. And it's also, this should be semi-turbulent waters, somewhat noisy waters. So it being a softer view like this makes sense. So yeah, I just want to check. Yeah, so ray tracing global illumination, I'm leaving it at performance is the maximum because I can't tell you what the difference is. Okay, that's right. Let me turn back this way. Check something. Okay, no, oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. Did you see how much that brightened up? Yeah, I'll take those screenshots. I have a feeling that this isn't necessary, but I dragged on the same one twice. Okay, so this... Crap, now I don't remember which is which. Okay, so this is no ray trace reflections, this is. And it's like, how does that make sense? This water here is covered. It is obscured. The sun is up here. So why is this so illuminated? Because all of this should be blocking it. And instead, it's not. But it is with normal screen space. See, that is a problem to me. So I don't need to change the note here, but it is still yeah, I would leave ray traced reflections off. It's still the case because that is not accurate. Here, I'll grant, okay, seeing the reflections in that are fine, but this is definitely not right. And I mean, maybe if we turn on everything? No, it's still, I mean, look, this is really illuminated now. I'm sorry, I do not believe that this is accurate. Maybe up here where it's the top of the grass, but over here, no, this grass is blocking. I mean, we can walk into it. See, I was like, this is blocking where I'm standing. At least it should be, but it's like it's not dimming it at all. Or very little dimming. Yeah, see how dim it is here? That makes sense to me. It's also dark mud. And let's see. Camera is going in front of the sun? Cloud is going in front of the sun. Here, we'll even do it that way. There. But now I also want this. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, so that is... RT off. Wait. Oh, no. Okay, this one. RT off. RT on, because it's literally just everything. And then RT off, HBAO. Yes. I don't think that those reflections there are needed. This looks okay. I mean, it would be nice if there were some darkening around the edges there, which you do have here. I will grant that. But it's also, look over here. I was hitting the wrong button. Look over here. That log is floating in ray tracing. Oh wait, no, it's floating when not. What? It shouldn't be though. That should not be floating. Well, in the air, I mean. That should be in the water. I don't know why it's up like that. That would also be the case. Oh no, it's just, why is HBO plus? Wait, I'm getting so turned around. No, it is with the ray tracing. I had it inverted. Sorry. Oh, I mean, you saw it, so I'm just embarrassed. So that's just wrong. Oh man. But it's also, I mean, look at how much the colors have changed. But I think that just this darkening here is fine, because this should be a darker area because of the density of the foliage, especially up there. Here, yeah, it is mildly thin, but it still is, like, one side is brighter than the other. At least it should be. This, I don't know. It doesn't... You know what it kind of looks like to me? Is there are some examples of, like, high dynamic range where I feel they just fake it. Where they just crank up certain values, or they just use poorly decided on, poorly in representation terms, decided on before and afters. That's kind of what I feel like here, because of how much the colors change here. And that does trouble me, because rasterization is not that bad of a simulation. So it's just, like, in general, that this does kind of worry me. What is going on with some of these shadows? Oh, okay, I see what it's trying to do there. So, like, this shadow for the weed right there is just really dark. It's also like the ground is brighter around it. I don't know. It's part of it also just feels like if you take this the heck? Come on. Oh, no, that's why. Wrong layer. I feel like if you crank the contrast up some, not too much apparently. Maybe that's not the thing to use. How about exposure? I mean, I'm just surprised how they darkened it so much. But I mean, there we go. Just adjusting the exposure. How much has that changed? And then, I mean, obviously you can't add in the shadows, but the brightness level. Feel like we might be getting there. Yeah, the brightness actually does look closer by just increasing the exposure. I mean, the point I'm trying to get to with some of this, I'm just getting there very poorly, is I'm just unconvinced with some of this. But it does definitely look nicer. Okay, let me check something. And might as well, as I said, visually I can't tell you what the difference is. So, but let me just, for a moment. Oh, yeah, hang on. Need to do that as well. Oh wait, no. Here. yeah, I'm definitely going to be collecting data again. Holy crap. This is, I think visually, just based on what I'm seeing, I think that's actually really close to 60. Give me just a moment. Okay, I was wrong. It's in the 40s. I just wanted, in the lower right, you can see the... Huh, it looked a lot closer to 60 for me. Maybe it's just because of where I was, or I'm just getting really out of practice. But it is also, well, here, let me... So you can see how it's in the 40s there. And this is all that turned on. But if I do this, so it's literally just that, but now all this stuff is at Ultra Plus. Oh, no, that does push it up there. Okay, that does not seem right. Maybe it's because of where I am down here? Because, I mean, it was definitely worse when I was collecting data just yesterday. At least it felt a lot worse. But I guess also this may start... Oh, wrong thing. There. There. It's like you can also, like turn these all... Well, here. High. And then turn all these effects on. That on. But Geralt. And... comparable... Maybe a little bit lower performance. I was like, that's nice. But it is also... Nope. This... Off. And went to 90s. It's like we're cutting performance in half by turning on. But that still was a lot better where we were. And of course you have options such as... this, which I can believe that actually quality might be good enough. Nah, 52, maybe not. Performance actually gets us up to 60. Nice if... I'm not trusting balance to be right. Quality might be. And of course, we do have these. And I do want to look at XeSS, just not immediately. Let me do that. I did say I wanted to look at it. I want to keep doing the... Oh wow, that's actually kind of handy. That now the 3 manual saves are all next to each other. I want to look and see how those guys standing here look with the ray tracing on. And I know I've already walked by them, but I wasn't paying too much attention to the visuals. I was just trying to collect data.
Granddad said.
And we can sprint there.
Stay out of my way.
But yeah, if I can get the performance dialed in a little bit better, and it's also possible because I wasn't moving that much then. I do remember feeling a stutter. If that's related to the Ultra Plus versus just high for the rest of the settings, then I would actually be much more amenable to turning the ray tracing stuff on. But I do kind of feel like it might have to be all the ray tracing. I don't know. And there's also, well, yeah, when we get to looking in Scalica as well, there's also some spots there that really just
This is scandalous.
had some weird issues. But I want to say that it was like a 4.01 issue, but or 4.0 issue, and 4.01 addressed it. It was something like that. As I've done this too many times, and keeping it all straight is getting tricky. Almost there.
What was it happened to Faltist again?
Yeah, so like this guy. Actually, either of them. Well, here, let me... So Geralt is just standing here. Alright. There. was looking for graphics, not video. Like an idiot. Alright, there. Nope. That did not dim him nearly enough to satisfy me. I mean, he is in shadow. Why is he so bright? I was really hoping ray tracing would help here, but it did not. Because, I mean, the shadow is all around him. He would be in shadow. The only thing I'm really noticing that's different is we got the reflections here, but even then, I don't... This puddle, I cannot imagine being so clean as to cast such clear reflections there. I mean, this isn't necessarily perfect either, but it's just, I mean, how murky this is. I mean, that makes sense to me. Because, I mean, hell, it's not even a puddle. We're literally talking about just really moist ground. Over here looks more like... Actually, no, as I get close to it, even this is not a puddle. None of this is a puddle. It's just really wet mud. That's all it is. Which should intrinsically have a very rough and noisy surface, so it should be a very poor reflection, but instead, I mean, look, we're getting such sharp details. Oh, man, come on. So yeah, the roughness there, I definitely do not trust. Looking in Novigrad, RT is not addressing some NPCs being so bright despite being in shadow, but also RT reflections don't make sense. We have crisp and detailed reflections in very wet mud. This should be a rough surface that scatters far more than it reflects. And yet, there. And you can see, like, up here, this is clearly mud. This isn't water. So yeah, I'm just gonna turn, well, here, to keep it a little, oh wait, no, not that one. This one. Turn that off. There. Okay, that's these two. Martian SS reflections for screen space reflections. RT on RT reflections. So it's basically base. And then with reflections, and I mean that is absurd. There in no way should be that level of detail. I can understand the brightness here being a bit higher. I can understand that. But this is like just a disturbed mirror surface. It in no way would physically be that. No. Okay. Turn that back down. Back. Oops. Here we go.
Maybe.
I want to head over to Skellige.
Our world will burn! Burn in the... Oh!
World map? Yeah, the whole Novigrad, Velen, I did all this and then came over to Skellige. Oh, so beautiful. Alright, so I'm pretty sure that the path I actually took earlier that I used for collecting data follows this road. And then it's like, in here, around like that, up this way, there, and then I come back. So this is the lighthouse in the distance. And I'm gonna get a drink of water as this loads. Alright, now unfortunately I do have some enemies here I need to deal with. There. No. There we go.
Show me what you got.
The heck? Who do you say that to? Oh, there is still one harpy. Yep, and another one. And another one. Alright. And there's a harpy over there. Hopefully it'll leave me alone. So this is where I remember looking, and it's like, see how there's really no shadows from the grass? Boom, shadows from the grass. It's not great, they're not very detailed, but there is some respect for the fact that the grass is actually obscuring some of the light. Although it doesn't stand out as quite as much up. Here, I'll do some screenshots to help highlight it. I want to say mainly like right in here it's making a difference. That's basically what those are. RT everything. That. So this should be SSAO. Here, let me actually. There. Yeah, you can see what a difference that makes. That's actually funny. That spot I thought dimmed so much. Well, no, there is some. It's just not the most obvious. There it is. But this. This is a much starker difference than the performance and quality for ray tracing global illumination. But this is. In a different game, I talked about the noise of life, essentially, the noise of nature. This definitely adds a lot more. Here, the noise is just the foliage itself, but now we also have it's impacting the lighting, so it is noisier, but it makes it look more alive, makes it look more lifelike. So definitely, yeah, HBAO plus is the maximum for screen space ambient occlusion. But it is also because we can in fact turn it off completely. We can turn off ambient occlusion. Boom. Like that. And my notes here are off is the minimum acceptable because, I mean, it's not like we've turned off all shadows. We do still have some. So yeah, but it is if you can go to HBAO plus, go to HBAO plus. In my opinion, it does look so much better. Now I need to turn it back off because we are looking at the high preset. But here, let's also look at this. You know, it's funny, I can see so much noise here, probably because the jittering of the rays. You also see it on him even. But I mean, that we can't ignore. That you're not going to notice that in normal gameplay. It's just because it's paused. This, I mean, the performance isn't bad. 45, 46, I mean, that's not terrible. Let's DLSS actually right now. Now, true, this is really easy what we're looking at compared to this. Actually, no, that's still doing a decent job. Yeah, I'm thinking then that some of the issues I was having before might have been more so from trying to work, well, issues with performance working off of the RT preset, which turns these up, and that is not necessary. I don't think there's a single one actually where oh no, well, I'll run through them all again. But a lot of these, like I've got some where low is the minimum, where you don't have to go much above low to really, it's like texture quality medium. And that actually is in this area, as I recall that I found it. But some of these, like detail level, I can't tell you what the difference is. Foliage visibility range, that does make a difference. Water quality though, low is the minimum, because it looks good and can't tell you the difference from other options. Terrain quality, again, I couldn't spot any difference between low and ultra plus on that. I mean, we will work through those. Okay, but see this? So this is an issue. I do consider this a bug, and I don't know why it does that, but it is a ray tracing bug. I don't remember which. I think it's a specific effect. Oh no, it was, the effects were actually making it better. Yeah, it's also, you have a little bit of an issue here, but I mean, yeah, I mean, there are definite problems. So it's like you can see the coastline here. That actually looks better. At one point, it actually, or maybe it's because of what settings are on versus being off. Okay. But at one point, I actually, and I probably still have the screenshot somewhere, where the mountain down here, the reflection was brighter than the mountain itself. And it's like, yeah, there's a fog here, but the light that's reflecting is passing through the fog as well. So it's very weird. And where is the sun actually? The sun is over there, so this actually doesn't make sense. It shouldn't be quite like that, right? Because the sun would be coming down. That would be reflecting more so than it hitting here and then bouncing off. Now, true, I am looking this way, so it makes sense I'd see something, but I'm just concerned that this might actually be not wrong. That I'm trying to think with the fog. And it's also the light reflecting off. The water is basically going to be directly illuminated by the sun. And that it would scatter in all directions. The light shouldn't be decreasing that much. Just because it is first bouncing off of the island there and then into the water off the water and into my eyes, right? And also with the fog scattering so much, I actually am kind of feeling like this might be closer to real. Than this is. I mean, up here, it makes some sense. But not over here because of the fog. It's that fog that's really bothering me right here. And I am going to be heading down here, by the way. But there's some other things I can look at here. But we can turn that off entirely. So one thing nice here is we've got a nice long view. Come on, there we go. So I can start showing you some of the other stuff, which I doubt any of this has changed. So, background characters, I doubt this has changed. And just the note I have is low because I doubt it matters enough for my testing at least to warrant a higher maximum. And I don't even have a maximum listed. I mean, I honestly don't know what change I was making. Shadow quality, I do actually say low to ultra plus. Low because the shadow still looked good, and I can't spot a visual difference between low through ultra, so technically any of those would be acceptable. I don't have a note on ultra plus, so I'm guessing what I found there was ultra plus looks better than ultra. But I don't know how much. And this I don't think is a good location for checking that. Terrain quality though. Oh, here, we did that. Screenshot. I mean, there's certainly terrain in the view here, right? Too bad I have to do all that. Why did his hair just change? I don't know. I do not know. Discard. This one is low. This one is high. Do you see anything? New from visible. Crank up the exposure. Yeah, there's no difference. So this is just noise that is from different effects. So yeah, there is like no actual difference between low and ultra plus for terrain. Which in some ways doesn't surprise me, because terrain really shouldn't make much of a difference for a modern graphics card. I'm like, this should be fairly easy for it to render, especially at 2080. But the 770 I could believe would have a problem with it, because that is so old that, hang on, that's actually, let me check, because I do have this stuff. 770 is from May 30th, 2013. That's when it came out. I purchased mine October 30th. So, yeah, this thing is going to be, that card is going to be 10 years old in 4 days. Damn. Did I? No, I don't have prices recorded here. Where's the 2080s from 2018, September 20th. Yeah, but it still is that. I could see the 770 because of the poorer tessellation capability, because terrain should be controlling some of that. Because I mean, tessellating terrain makes some sense to me, but I cannot tell you what the difference is, so I don't necessarily trust that there is a difference. Water quality, we'll need to go down for that. Foliage visibility range and grass density we can do here. Texture quality we can probably also do here. But let's... Foliage visibility range is... Oh wow, you actually should be seeing it here. Like back in here, there should be less foliage. Yeah, you can kind of see it in here. Not so much up here, but in this area. No, maybe not. It's actually very weird. Like this should be a thing. Because I remember this being it. This being where I was checking it. This is like really good range at the moment. It should be on low. The heck? Hang on. Low is the minimum because the range is actually pretty good, but there are clear improvements as you go up. Ultra Plus is the maximum, but diminishing returns above high. Okay. I am having such a hard time spotting it, which is good. Screenshot differences are good because that means it's really discretionary. Okay. Oh, yeah. I can see that now. The trees remain, except really far in the distance, but this is from low to high. Too many screenshots. Foliage visibility range, low, high, and let's get one of Ultra Plus. And it's helpful to do it this way because I can control the order we look through them a lot more easily. Yeah, that difference is... High to Ultra Plus is not that great. But low here, I mean, we're still going down to like the edge of this pretty comfortably, so... I don't really think that there's... I agree with what I have already written. Which doesn't surprise me. There really shouldn't be any reason for that to change. So the fact that in DirectX 11 you should not go above high, with this at least on some GPUs, does not bother me at all. I actually wanted to look at something, but not yet. Let's look at this. Grass density I think will stand out better. I could be wrong though. Low is acceptable, but if you can do medium, try. High is maximum acceptable because the difference from medium is visible. Ultra and Ultra Plus do continue to increase the density, but it's unclear / subtle, so likely not worth it. This is at low, and I think it's actually going to mainly be around where I'm standing. Like, I want to say I was actually up here when I was doing this. Nope, come on. There we go. Yeah, let's go until about here to be safe. Okay, that's better. I just wanted better illumination here. So this is at low. Let's go to high. And you can see how it's a lot denser. But according to my notes, it's like, going to this, it's denser, but how much does it really make a difference? So yeah, and that's all I'm really going to do there. I don't feel a need to push that further. Okay, let's that back down. I want to have this at low. Why is that impacting his hair at all? But just to see how the foliage may appear while going this way. Now, true, there is undulation up and down, so it's not going to be the most obvious always, the changes, but okay, that pop-in is not great. But it's still, that's not necessarily terrible. Nope, there. Let's look at medium. Yeah, medium has pushed it back quite a bit. So it might become a lot harder to notice the pop-in just because it's going to be so much further away. Yeah, that might have counted as the foliage pop-in all the way down there. Yeah, I'm not really seeing it, which is good, Anyway, down here is where I did the water detail stuff, so we can look at it again. There's also a hag around here, I'm pretty sure. Ah, right there. Very nice. Alright, and unfortunately... That back up to high, here's water. Low. Can you tell me it is different? I don't think you can. Like, even, I remember even swimming in it, and it's like, what's the difference? I don't know. Which is why I have the notes of low's the minimum because it looks good and can't tell you it's different from any other option. But just so that it is done, it's like, you look here, we got interactions that look fine. I mean, they're not great, but I mean, it's... What can you really expect? This game is from 2016, as I recall. And I mean, there's plenty of modern games that aren't even going to look this good. It's hard to tell if the ripples are something that are only at the higher ones, but they were subtle before, and the water itself is turbulent, so it doesn't necessarily stand out that much anyway. But I mean, it's water can be low, and I think most people will never know the difference. I tried to jump. I kind of want to get out of the water. But I mean, we can just work over this way. And there's a reason why. I'm assuming the thing is still over there. After this, well, I do want to do texture quality and detail level. But I do want to, I will go through the FSR, DLSS, and XESS, but I want to do that at the place I initially... Well, I might be able to do it here. That place where I originally... where I first collect data is actually really, really nice for the testing because there's so many trees around, and trees are a great stress test for that stuff. Alright. Is it? Yes, it is. Perfect. Alright. I'm sorry, but I need you for science. So, that is what it looks like without Hairworks, without the tessellated hair on the bear. No, we can leave that at 4. Needs to pop in. I do not think this looks better, because if you look right here, that is bare texture, as an exposed texture. There isn't hair on that. It's like, and I can see that also here. Initially, when I did this before, we were over there, and it was the angle he was at was a little easier to really expose that this doesn't look that good. And it's also, it's like the hair is so long, it's kind of floppy. I would expect it to be more matted down, which is what this will look like. And look at this. More matted down. I mean, yeah, it is the old, just the layered like shingles, but it's like everywhere there is fur. It gives a bulk to the animal that because of that layering, it's the hair. I'm not seeing the body, I'm seeing the hair, I'm seeing the fur. I keep going past it. Don't I? Yeah, there it is. Whereas this, I mean, this is the bare animal, no fur. It's like this, it looks fluffy. It looks like something you would apply makeup with, even. It looks so fluffy, which I don't think of bears as fluffy. And it's also, and it's like right here, it's still, that looks exposed. This, and the hairs are so wiry. I mean, tessellated hair is an awesome idea. But I really don't think that on other on enemies, on animals, it looks good in many video games. I mean, it looks fine on Geralt's hair. His hair being tessellated looks fine. So, as far as I'm concerned, it being just to Geralt is fine. I think that's my note. Let me go and check. Yeah, Geralt. But the bear doesn't look good to me with the hairworks. And I also remember that I don't remember which of the Metro games it was. We turned on and like the like mutated rats. You turn on hairworks, and it has this hair, whereas without it, it has like this very wiry looking, like short, stubby wires. And the thing is, I actually like how that looks better, because it makes it look meaner and more mutated, versus now it's got fur on it, and it's like, okay, now it just looks like a big, partially molted, like, bunny rabbit that wants to kill me, versus this wiry thing where it's like, oh, this is disgusting, kill it. I mean, it's not necessarily that, but it's like it's supposed to be disgusting and repulsive, and the hairworks actually made it look less so. It made it look more like a normal thing. So that's a different game, though. All right, we can try with texture quality here. I mean, in theory, the rocks here will do a good job, and I could see maybe here and in here that turning the texture quality would be nice. Let's see, because that's at just low. I think. What's my note on that? Yeah, medium I have as the Oh yeah, look at that. There's so much more detail. That's a lot sharper, but it is. Yeah, medium is minimal acceptable. If you have to go lower, low is feasible, but really try to do medium. High, ultra, and ultra plus are hard to see differences between, but I'm willing to believe they can exist at high resolutions, and will refer to the GPU's management of the textures and use anisotropic filtering at ultra plus to give you good image quality without any hassle. So what that's talking about there is, and I do remember doing some testing on this, is I think texture quality, and I wish developers wouldn't do this. I think this has baked in not just the selection of which mipmap level, which detail level is being used for the textures, which that would be the difference from low to medium for what we were just looking at. I think they're also baking in the anisotropic filtering, and I wish that was separate, because I don't want a situation where I want anisotropic filtering 16, but I'm good with just medium textures, and that's not possible. Because that might, high is probably pushing up the detail level, so higher detail textures are coming in, which maybe I'm still using my 770 with 2 gig of VRAM, which, by the way, still works in plenty of games, including this one. It's not great, but it does work. But it's what I was saying in here about the whole I'm willing to defer to the GPU's management with Ultra Plus is that this is 1920 by 1080. I'm not going to see some detail here if Ultra Plus is designed for 4K. But it might be giving me the higher anisotropic filtering, which I do want. That I will benefit from. And that's why I don't want these things to be melded together. I do much prefer those to be separate. Yeah, I don't know why his hair keeps disappearing. So, okay, all I have this detail level, but I'm not sure what's controlling, so can't test and compare. I do not doubt that's still the case. So all I have left then, and I know I am skipping some of the stuff, but I mean it's the third time I've done this damn stuff. They've gone through all this damn stuff. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come back to here, and I'm gonna do first the thing I should not do, and it took me a while of testing to realize I was doing it wrong, but I'm still gonna start that way once we get here. And I'm also gonna get a drink of water. So much better. Okay. So we're gonna start here. And this is wrong. I should not be doing this because with it paused, I'm kind of making an ideal situation for these things, but it's still a good place to start. It's also interesting because with TAU on, which it shouldn't be doing any U, but with just TEA, we can see shimmering here, and hang on just a second. Oh yeah, even looking at the preview in OBS, even though it is scrunched down, I can actually still see it on his shoulder. So I'm hoping that will survive through to the YouTube processing. I don't know, but I'm hoping it will. But yes, there's shimmering here, and if I just... yeah, that... nope, there we go. If I just go off, no more shimmering, but a lot of aliasing everywhere. Like there's a reason why I do have TAAU as the minimum. I'm not even gonna. Well, no. I will show it to you, but it looks terrible. FXAA. I mean, look. There's still so much aliasing. We're gonna have no temporal stability because FXAA doesn't offer that. I mean, it's yeah. Just pop those on for stability purposes. But yeah, don't do FXAA. Please treat yourself better than that. TAU is, as far as the aliasing goes, looks so superior. Yes, there is the shimmering, so that is a temporal aliasing issue, but in normal gameplay, you're not going to notice this. Like if I do just release, well, I guess you do kind of see it. But on him, you don't see it in the world so much. Alright. So now, let's get to looking at these. And one thing I do want to add is FSR isn't available on the GTX 770. All I would have there is just this, the dynamic resolution scaling, which is relevant because I need that on for some of the data collection before. So, okay. FSR, and is FSR 2. And if you look, that shimmering is gone, and it was present here. It truly was. If I can just come back, you can see it there. So FSR immediately is helping there. And indeed, looking at this, there is really no shimmering at all that I can spot. It is very stable right here. Now, I'm going by memory. I think... yeah, there is... it's less, but there is actually some shimmering here, and it's very little here. But there's also some in these trees. This might not be coming through. But like right here where the cursor is, the area, like if you took the cursor and just spun it around, it is like fading in and out light and dark spots. Okay? So there is temporal instability here. There is. But here's the thing. Man, I wish that it was a bit brighter exactly where I am right now. As I recall, here, you know, I have to do this. Let's... okay, there. So just some more light on him. I mean, also, because it's paused, that is a best case scenario and not realistic. I want to say FSR has better temporal stability here, but I want to say it is actually some of the image quality is lower. So let's try looking at the detail here, because there's definitely a wrinkly pattern there, because it's leather. Oh no, DLSS actually wiped that out a lot more. Huh. Interesting. And it's got the temporal instability. But this is paused, so this is informing us, but we should not make decisions based on this. But it is still, this is best case scenario, and DLSS is having temporal stability issues. I mean, it's like that is a fact here. And these are both at quality. Let's look at XESS, and we'll use quality for now. This, and because this is the 2080, it won't have the like fancy dancy XMX stuff, because Intel has multiple branches, has multiple versions of XeSS based on basically if you have, I think it's 3 levels. One is XMX, which is Intel's tensor core setup. It's not tensor core, it's a matrix math, which tensors are kind of it's like similar family but different. The heck? Hang on just a second. Sorry, I was getting some texts and wanted to respond to that. So yeah, the like with an Intel GPU, an Arc GPU, XeSS like uses a higher quality level pass, has a higher quality level version than what you get with other GPUs that have the D4PA. Is that the name of it? It's a more standardized set of instructions that many GPUs have. The I know Turing and Up does. Let me change that. I'm confident Turing and Up does. I don't remember when it appeared, if it was RDNA 1 or 2 for AMD GPUs. But there's that, and then there's I think an even lower version than that. The differences there, though, with the D4PA and non-D4PA might just be speed, not quality, but I think I did see something that XMX actually does allow for higher quality compared to the others, the other pipelines there. But it's I'm not going to hold that against Intel, to be honest. I mean, it's the fact that they're still making something that everyone can use, I'm happy about. Okay, so at ultra quality, I can see some temporal instability here. It's very little. And here, it's more like just adjacent pixels that are changing. And the differences are more subtle than if I go to DLSS at quality. Here, it's like, or at least more pixels all changing at the same time. So, XeSS at ultra quality, I think, does, for temporal stability, look better than DLSS. This, at quality, it actually looks very similar. But honestly, I'm going to give it to XeSS right now. Now, this is we're being informed, we're not making judgments yet. But this does, while I am still seeing the temporal instability, same as with DLSS, this looks more subtle. Like the difference in color, that is the temporal instability, the difference in color feels less extreme than with DLSS, but it is still there. So, and ultra quality does look better. So, I mean, it's definitely ultra quality for the maximum. Stability with XeSS, even at ultra quality. Yeah, even at ultra quality when paused, it isn't that bad though, and I think a little better than DLSS quality to quality. Like the extremes are less far apart than DLSS, but the instability itself has the same nature. Okay. Let's start cranking it down. Really? Honestly, I mean, the temporal instability is a bit more evident to my eyes, and this is something that I feel so bad about saying this, about saying it. Like, to my eyes, I have to say that because I could believe that the video compression, especially YouTube's compression, will not survive, but will not let this survive. Will kill it. This is actually still looking pretty good to my eyes, though. No, I want to get the movement, but it's like I'm gonna leave it as it is for now. Let me check one thing though. Okay, that is really funny and kind of sad. Okay, so off. So look at, it's very noisy detail here on the leather, which makes sense. Well, I don't know necessarily about this, but this definitely, that I feel makes sense. That's gonna be like just a hard leather. Doesn't have to be smooth or soft. TAU, you can still see plenty of noise there. Looks fine. And you can also see some noise on Roach's neck. FSR2 at quality. There is still the noise in here, some on the neck. There had been like a crease here. I can kind of still see it. That doesn't seem quite so evident. But going to DLSS, even at quality, that is gone. That detail is obliterated. That makes no sense to me, because I want to say that my impression previously was like DLSS has the temporal instability here, but image quality was sharper. FSR had the temporal stability, but image quality was softened. Image detail was softened. Now it's looking like that's not the case, but remember, we can't make judgments now. This is too idealized for all of them. And then we come back to XeSS. Even at performance, look, you can see the crease here and here, and there's still some of the noise there. So in some way, the creases are removed by FSR, even at quality. But this is performance, and we're still getting more detail in this than DLSS at quality. What the hell? I am so happy. You do not know my level of joy. Joy is not the right word, but it's like I didn't want to just say happiness again. How happy I am to be able to have the ability to look at these three technologies like this. Because it annoys me so much. I understand how in some cases it is true, but it annoys me so much how people have such a de facto stance of, oh, DLSS is just superior. XeSS performance, better detail preservation here than DLSS at quality. Take that. You need to actually look at this stuff, is my point. Don't just enter into it as, oh yeah, DLSS is better. No, actually look at it, do the comparisons, and figure it out for yourself. Okay, so here, let's... Yeah, actually. So there. Anti-aliasing off. Screenshot. I'm sorry, this is so terrible. TAU. FSR quality. There. And I might not even use most of this. And remember, it's only XeSS quality, not ultra quality, which is above that. Okay. And this is best and worst case scenario in some ways. It's like best case in that it's all still. So all the temporal, crap, I can't think of the term now. Accumulation, that's it. All of the temporal accumulation is ideal right now, but it is also the whole, there's no movement, so it's the worst to try to actually judge things on. Okay, so that is off, and we can clearly see detail there. And we can clearly see it is smudged all away by DLSS. And I did notice, by the way, that the trees are changing. So we will look at that in a little bit. TAU preserves it, and we do see. You can see there's a seam here and a seam here. And TAU preserves that. The vertical one is gone with FSR. I can't really tell it there. I can tell the horizontal one. XCSS, it is there. No. It almost looked like it moved. No. But it is, I mean, that is purely a smudge. I mean, come on. Here, let me, I'm gonna do this. And I know it's really jerky to do, I'm still gonna do it. That's too small. There. Is it that different? Actually, the scary part is I actually like know what changes I need to do to get it there. Turn down the hardness. Thing I don't know if I can really do is if I can feather it quite the way I want it to. Now it does also darken, but it did keep some of the detail there. But it's like, no. DLSS quality is absolutely just murdering detail in there. Yeah, so XeSS quality right now is killing it. Okay, but we did notice some changes up here. Okay, that's not surprising. FSR2 quality. So that makes some sense. So it's putting it back in there. Like this branch here, you'll see is gone in TAU. So FSR is the accumulation is telling it, hey, there should be something there, and it's putting it back in. That makes sense. And actually, any of these should do stuff like that. XeSS is a lot thicker. And DLSS is actually a lot noisier. Oof. Honestly, I'm kind of leaning towards. Okay, I think I'm just trying to get a better grasp on what I think is happening here. Okay, how about XeSS? Oh, well, yeah, that's... XeSS is being a bit aggressive with the reconstruction. I think is the way I would describe that. Yeah, we're gonna use the TA as the ground truth. Yeah, so XESS, that's definitely blurred in those details compared to TAU. FSR2 is actually doing a good job of keeping a lot of it. I think XESS is just really, as I said, the reconstruction is getting really intense. I mean, look at this. This is like 4 pixels wide versus 2. Like the point at which it's really dominant, it's really adding a lot there. DLSS is not. Honestly, this feels like over-sharpening noise. That is exactly how I would describe it. So yeah, that actually does. Yeah. So I'm just thinking. I can believe a lot of people are not going to be happy with what I'll say here. Based on this, and we need to move around. We need to move around. I'm going to do that next. But right now, based on all I've seen, FSR2 wins. XESS and DLSS are tied. Because XESS preserves that detail, DLSS destroys. But XESS is way too aggressive with the reconstruction up here. That is, unless there's some like weird magic it's doing, which I don't think is right. Because I mean, if you look at this, it is so much bulkier than what should be more or less ground truth with just all of it turned off, the AA turned off. Like this is in definitely the level of hallucinating the frame, thinking, oh yeah, there should be something here, and putting it in. Yeah, I am, just based on these though, I am very inclined to say FSR2 is winning. That it is, we have the temporal stability, it preserves a lot of detail. XCSS puts some of it back in, but that it over reconstructs. And DLSS does look like it's over sharpened. So let me write that up. Actually not in that location. Come up here. Comparing the upscalers. FSR2, well, with paused game. That is so important. I cannot stress how important that is. FSR2, yeah, with paused game and quality preset, FSR2 wins for temporal stability that both of the others lack, and preserves detail well enough. Well, yeah, it preserves detail well. XESS preserves, well, XESS suffers from some temporal instability, though it looks a bit better than DLSS. Preserves some details better than DLSS, and even FSR, but it also over reconstructs the scene in some places, adding mass to shapes that shouldn't really have it. It's like it's trying to hallucinate the frame. And then DLSS has temporal instability issues, and completely smudged away some detail, and looks like hello? Okay. The headset turned off on me. And looks like it is over sharpening in some areas. I haven't really used the headset that much. So it's literally been hanging around for like 2 years. It's possible that the batteries are kind of going, because I did charge it earlier. But anyway, and looks like it's over sharpening in some areas. So yeah, I mean, it's like for just the stills, and so important, it is just the stills so far. FSR2 is winning. Oh, well, here. Paused game. Well, wait, no, that's irrelevant. I can only take screenshots when it's paused. So now let's test it the correct way, which is with movement. There's a reason why I have TAU as the minimum. Even actually, let me... There. So the camera should keep facing this way. It might angle down, but it should keep facing this way. Whereas on the horse, it would turn. Actually, hang on. Let me... There. So I keep the horse also in frame. I keep... Yeah. It's just so awkward. You don't understand how awkward trying to control some of this stuff is. So we have that temporal instability here, some here, some here. Which, I mean, we already knew TAU has some of that. But it is also... TAU is the best you can do with DirectX 11. Do you feel like pointing that FSR2? No, none of that instability here. When it was paused, with it moving, I can kind of see in these trees, it does look like it's suffering from the loss of resolution. Like it's fatter, like XeSS was looking like, but XeSS was benefiting from being paused, so XeSS is definitely still in trouble. So right now I'm looking right up here, and I do feel with that moving it has some element of ghosting to it that I don't really like. I don't feel like it's quite as fat as was looking before with the stills. I mean, it is fat, but I feel like with the motion, the ghosting there's kind of hiding. It's almost like the still has the ghost in it. And then DLSS. I feel like there's some ghosting up there. Oh yeah, definitely. If looking right here at that branch, if you look there, there's definite ghosting there. So let me go back to... No, I want to look back at this. So with this, I am seeing polygon popping there. So not ghosting, but polygon popping. Great. So it is one of those, you really have to start deciding for yourself what you prefer. And this is at quality, but I can still kind of see some stuff that is like, yeah, it's at a low resolution, you can tell. Although here, let me try one, no, here. Let me try one thing quick. Because we do have sharpening here. Like an additional sharpener. Which shouldn't actually help with polygon popping, but I'm looking anyway. I do feel it helped here with the foliage. Yeah, this definitely looks soft there because it is a lower resolution. I want to go up to... This is some, but it is definitely sharper. Like, I don't need to turn on sharpening, but, I mean, the effect I was seeing before made it look like it was over-sharpening, so that's not necessarily that surprising, or that positive. In XESS, it is definitely... I can see with the movement, it does seem to be ghosting some, and is softer. Let's see what the sharpening at just low achieves for us. Can we get the sun back, please? Come on, you can peek out from the clouds. Come on. Seriously? Alright. Okay. With motion, XESS looks softer, I think, from ghosting / that over reconstruction mentioned above. Evisar 2 has some polygon popping and does have a softer image, like the image being from a lower resolution, but sharpening at low helps with that. In DLSS, let me look at it again. I mean, I know that the oh, that's not what I meant. I know DLSS doesn't really need the sharpening, but it is in the whole, I was noticing over sharpening before. I'm just trying to remember. Yeah, there is still ghosting, that's right. Does have some ghosting still. Does not need any sharpening. Gain drink of water. Okay, that was a little weird, just how the microphone turned off and back on for me. I kind of wish I could get the camera in tighter on Geralt somehow. Instead, I think the best I can do is Roach. Here, let me actually get on Roach.
Giddy up.
And just come up. Come on. Alright. Have I gotten Roach stuck? Nope. We're out. Okay. I just want to, like, go up to where there's hopefully,
Move it.
like a better chance of being in the light. Yeah, let's actually... There, try to turn that way. Stop. Thank you. Which do I have on at the moment? Because I'm definitely seeing some shimmering to that bag there, the burlap bag. Yeah, that's what I thought. And there is like no shimmer. There's a little bit of the luminance changing with the movement, but it's not that bad. And is less noticeable. I mean, that's almost like it's just moving in and out of shadow, which isn't accurate, but it does still kind of just look like that. I mean, we can see detail, plenty of detail on there. When it's really close in like this, that looks okay, but at this, yeah, I mean, there's like ghosting going on here that's causing detail loss. Yeah, I am. Nope. This one. Okay, this is with that on. So DLSS also had that too. I am feeling right now like... So me personally, I would rather suffer from some polygon popping than ghosting. And... It's like, you look at this. There isn't enough... I mean, it's only like over here we're going to see any polygon popping, because it's only over there that things are detailed enough for that. Fine enough detail, subpixel kind of stuff. But if we go over to this, we can turn that off. It is actually a lot harder to see, maybe because of how much is in silhouette. This actually does look good. I was hoping that we would see some of the ghosting that we were seeing over there.
Stay out of my way.
Who are you talking to? Let's also look at XESS. There. Sorry, hit it one too many times. Man, this is like so hard to... Hang on. What time of day is it? Okay, yeah, let's try coming to then. I mean, it's just the lighting constantly changing because of the clouds is not helping. But, of course, if I just put the sun, might not be helping much either. This is episode 2, right? I keep doing that. Yeah, episode 2, no sharpening. I mean, right now, I mean, there is some polygon popping going on right here, but it's not that bad. Oh no, this is actually interesting. Oh wait, no, was that was just the rain. I thought it was stars there. No, it's rain. That is not really surviving. Except with the accumulation. Okay, that doesn't help either. So it is really just the rain is actually light enough you can't make it out. In theory, it'll be here. Holy crap, look at that difference. All of them were losing that on, I'm certain. We can check though. That actually is like a very good stress test. Nope, that's removed. Can even try ultra quality. I'll bet it's still gone here. A little bit. But it makes it look like meteor showers. instead of rain showers. Ah. Put that back to quality. Come on. I am clicking it. It's just not. I don't like how this UI is designed. I have to admit that. And DLSS isn't keeping any of it either. It's only the ones that are like really close to the screen. You know, right now I'm having a hard time spying the ghosting. So right now there is the over sharpening issue that I am still kind of concerned with. So personally, I would do either DLSS at quality. Well, DLSS, I should just say. We haven't gotten into quality or balanced or performance yet. Or FSR2 with sharpening at low. Because that addresses the softness that is left there. XESS, it just it is either blurring or over reconstruction, however you want to put it. So I don't think I'd really go with that one at the moment. To be fair though, that's something I could see just needing to be dialed in. Yeah, I'm just... It really does come down to what artifacting you prefer. I prefer polygon popping to ghosting. Because not everything polygon pops, but everything has the potential to ghost. And which am I on at the moment? Keep doing that. How many times have I said that? Okay. Yeah, it's DLSS. Okay, I can see it on this one. Some ghosting there. So let me pop back over to FSR2 and I'll turn the sharpening on. That DLSS doesn't need, so it's just, you know, like trying to get that visual parity. And I don't notice ghosting so much. It did thicken though, a lot. But if it's more consistent, that's a benefit there. It does look like it's losing a little bit. Oh wait, no, now that the sun is really out there, it is looking better. Like there is more detail in there. Man, I really don't know between those two. I feel like it's really going to come down to personal preference. And performance-wise, if I turn that off. At least it was previously the same. No, display, that off, come on. So this is FSR2. And it's, you know, 120 FPS or so. And that's FSR2 at quality. If I come here, DLSS at quality, and turn sharpening off, we're gonna at least assume that sharpening doesn't impact performance. Yeah, I mean, it's the same. I don't know why, I pulled my hand away, but it is the same performance. That is one thing I had noticed before. I am not at all surprised it's still the case, that it doesn't really matter between these four. Okay, XESS is actually a little bit lower. Unless, did I screw up? Let me check, I might have screwed something up here. No, it is still at quality. So XESS is actually a little bit behind them in performance. That's not much. About 10 FPS. That's not great to see. I fully acknowledge that. But it is still, I'm not too concerned about that. But it is, which kind of look do you prefer? What DLSS quality gives us, or what FSR2 with at quality with low sharpening gives you? Performance isn't a concern. Like that's going to be just the quality level that you actually select the preset. So like if I take this down to ultra performance, actually no, I think just performance. I don't remember. Oh no, we do have ultra performance here as well. It'll look bad, by the way, on both of these. It's like 166, so let's just say like 165 or so, rounding it. But I take that over to DLSS, and it's the same. I mean, that is one thing I have to say the developers did do a good job at CD Projekt Red with, like, these performance steps are very good. I'm assuming that they did some tuning. So it's almost like you can just, this is what you control for which artifacting, which image impact you prefer, and then this is what you do for actually dialing in performance. Yeah. But it is, I think that for what I prefer, I would go with this, FSR 2 with low. Because as I was saying, I don't notice as much ghosting with this as DLSS, but it does need that little bit of sharpening, so. Personally, I prefer FSR 2 quality with low sharpening, because with low sharpening to DLSS quality, no extra sharpening. I mean, there's clearly some sharpening that's being done there. You can see it. It's very clear. Anyway, because bumped button there. Because while there is some polygon popping with FSR, it is not always evident, but DLSS has some ghosting that is more common, but still not too bad. Really is a personal choice at this level. And there is also the whole coming back here, let's turn Roach around and see how it looks at in motion. So this is FSR 2 quality, remember, with sharpening, and it's like we definitely do see the rough texture of the leather. And actually we do still see it, but I don't think it's as clear. There's some shimmering, but because that's from Roach moving, it's actually mildly realistic, because you would see some shimmer in real life as different parts of the surface reflect the light a little differently. And then you turn that on. Yeah, so it is still just I do. The image quality is a little bit better. I think the temporal stability is also a little bit better too with FSR, so I would go with that. But I mean, hey, it's up to you. They're both, in this case, in this game, very actually solid options. So go with whichever you want. XeSS, maybe with an ARC, maybe with an Intel GPU. If that is what I'd seen recently is accurate, and it might not be, that XeSS on an ARC GPU benefits from some better quality, better implementation. If that's the case, then that might be better than either of these. But right now, I'm feeling it is a step behind in some ways, that over reconstruction is a problem. And also, it is actually performing a little bit worse. And I do want to make that note. XESS does perform a little worse than FSR2 and DLSS. Yeah. FSR and DLSS are at performance parity from what I've seen. And to be fair, technically I should do complete run-throughs and collect data at each, but I don't think that this is how I've been doing it here is really going to be that different. It's doubtful that being in a different scene, one is going to perform better than the other. That should be more so image quality that's impacted, because it's that they're still reducing the amount of rendering that they're having to do, and that's going to be constant. So it's more image quality. How well does it upscale or not? That's more so what I expect for different scenes. And there is some movement here. It's I'm just not collecting 5 minutes worth. So it's I am confident that the performance will remain consistent as I look in other places. But XESS is yeah, it's a little behind, 110 instead of 120. I think that was about it, right? And that's not bad, but it is a detriment. Also notice during a light rain shower, all 3 and TAU basically remove the rain. Yeah, that's kind of a problem. And I would just add on top of that, this is one thing that I do find annoying in... I didn't realize I was still up. How some people... I reject the idea that DLSS and that kind of stuff is the future. The future should be better detail, and when you need to turn that stuff on, you can turn that stuff on, because you risk stuff like that, where it's the rain disappeared. I'm sorry, that is what happened there. The rain frickin' disappeared. That's not a good thing. I mean, that's legitimately enough that now that I've seen that, I kind of want to make sure I put a note somewhere just to emphasize this is bad. We don't want this to be the case. That you should be... I'm just going to mute this. There. That you should want it to be... and my brain turned off. I hate it when that happens. You don't want these technologies to degrade the image quality. They, by their nature, do. But so long as it's close enough, people are okay with it. Completely removing the rain... Maybe with heavier rain it would stay there, but this was a light shower and it was just gone. Now true, TAU also took it out. Yes. That is a problem. And that should be better designed so that doesn't happen. Okay, it's that is all true there. I'm just speaking in general terms that this reliance on temporal systems and on upscaling stuff, you do risk having details removed that are supposed to be there. But I understand, because technically TA is the best you can do in a post-processing setup, which as you push towards ray tracing, that's more so what you need. Because non-post-processing setups, like MSAA, that's not a post-processing system. That requires additional samples. In rasterization, that's additional rays that are cast, technically, they are still rays, they just don't bounce. And that's very easy. Rasterization is very, very cheap. Right? The cost with MSAA and SSAA is the shading and filtering. With SSAA, it does it with every sample. With MSAA, it doesn't do it with every sample, just where it needs to. But with ray tracing, you can't just arbitrarily increase the number of rays. The cost is high there, and it also really bloats the work for shading and filtering. So those aren't options. You have to use the post-processing method, so it makes sense. TA is getting more popular. Also, there's other things as well, because it's post-processing and such. There's certain things it'll work nicely with, deferred rendering. I mean, it's... All those years ago that I did that anti-aliasing thing, I did not really think it would stick with me so well and continue to prove so useful. An anti-aliasing article that I wrote. But it is just, I know where we are with those anti-aliasing methods. I don't like that that's where we are, though. I'd love to see MSA make something of a comeback. But it would just be you'd really need developers, I think, to really dive in, to get the optimizations, to get all the different techniques that they need and want, or their artists need and want, to really make these games look so amazing. I mean, think about... Yeah, let me actually check. Let me check. How old is The Witcher 3? Okay, this is from 2015, so I was wrong. I've been saying 2016. This is still such a good-looking game. I was like, this scene right now, which is just a menu scene. It is being rendered, but it's still just a menu. This looks better than plenty of modern games. Well, okay, I shouldn't necessarily say that. It looks as good. How about that? I mean, there are some games where, yes, in certain spots I can see the face having more detail, maybe the pants having a little bit more texture to them. But, I mean, look at the detail on his chainmail here. On the chainmail all around there. There's nice detail in the rock. I could see that being turned up a little bit, maybe a little bit more on the trees. But we're talking about, a tweak here, a tweak there. This is from 2015. We're talking May 19th, 2015 even. So it's over 8 years old now. It still looks fantastic. And are there ways it could be better within there? Yes. Now that is true. This is version 4, but I'm pretty sure they didn't do too much. And it's like, it looks good, and it will run on... I can grab a GTX 980. I have to go to the medium preset if I'm on DirectX 12. If I'm on DirectX 11... where is it? There it is. High without hair works is my note. Now, that's from older data, so it might be better now. Shouldn't be worse. But it's like, that's... How old is the 980? It's like, I have this. I just need to pull up that table. The 980 is from 2014. Okay? It was released in 2014. I got it in 2015. I actually got it around the time The Witcher 3 came out because, if I remember correctly, I got the key from CD Projekt Red, but NVIDIA offered one. I said, and I was like, no, I'm not talking to NVIDIA directly. Somebody else does that for OCC. I was like, no, I actually got it this way. That's fine. And that information was like passed along. It's just like, thank you for that. And then it was like, hey, where do you live? Why? Here. And then it was like the next day the 980 showed up. It was really, really awesome. Like I was sent the 980 for this. But it's like, I mean, even with the 980, in DirectX 11 at high without hair works. Which actually that should handle hairworks better. Huh. I don't know. I'll be getting to that when I collect more data. Or maybe it was just like getting stability at 60 FPS. I need to turn hairworks off. That's possible. But it's like that it's so old, but it's still going to look so good. Versus some games today where it's like the 2080 is going to struggle. And it's like, let's make sure that we're all running well. We don't need to turn to the upscaling methods. I mean, I'm just rambling, I know, but it's still just... We can have good-looking games and good performance without relying on these other methods. It is really the gist of it, and it annoys me that it seems like there is such an interest in neglecting that truth. There is a no, just turn on DLSS, just turn on FSR. That no, it's you do need the newest generation mid-range graphics card. You can't use the mid-range graphics card from a few years ago. And it's like, that doesn't need to be the case. And I don't know fully why it is, but there are so many technologies that can be taken advantage of so that you don't need the best hardware. You don't need these upscalers and still have something that looks so fantastic. All right, that has certainly been enough rambling. It's almost 3 hours long. Yeah. I'm just thinking, how do I want to... Nah, I should probably just upload it directly, the video. I've been recording it at 10 megabits, so it'll take 3 hours to upload. I do need to process the audio, though. All right. Yeah, so that should largely be it. I guess I can do one thing. It doesn't matter that much, but I can still show it to you. By the way, RT Ultra is just like turning on all of the update later is just like turning on all the things, the ray tracing options. Yeah, I use OpenRGB now and fan control, though I don't have that running. It's nice to get the front fans to quiet down when the CPU isn't all that loaded. And OpenRGB is because the 32 gig, I'm going to pull up the DirectX 11 version. The 32 gig memory kit that I have in here is G.Skill. And I like G.Skill, don't get me wrong, but I don't need the RGB on there, so I like turning it off. No, not that. This. So yeah, we have the Ultra Plus actually stated here, which does turn all those up. But you can just see the difference here, where we no longer have the different options there. Okay, I'd forgotten that dynamic resolution scaling wasn't available in DirectX 11. For some reason I was thinking it was, but it's not. That could be. I don't know why they decided not to stick it in there. But obviously ray tracing is off, but the fact that you don't have the upscalers is a little annoying, because that shouldn't be necessary, but it's what they decided to do. But we do have HBAO Plus in here, so I mean, and the performance can be really, really good. I need to keep collecting data on it, but I do remember finding that the difference between like turning on FSR and or DLSS, because remember those two, performance parity at the same preset setting, at the same quality setting. And my brain just turned off again. Performance parity there. But if you just went to DirectX 11 at version 4.1, this is 4.3, things are different. But at version 4.1, DirectX 11 would basically perform as well, and you're not having to turn down settings. You're not rendering at a lower resolution and having it upscaled. This is what you're actually just being shown, and it is really, really awesome, that difference. And I have a feeling some of that is still going to be true, which is a little unfortunate, but it's how it goes sometimes. My headset turned off on me again, and I was changing something in my database, just pulling up the Witcher 3 table. So I took a little bit to turn back on, but yeah, I mean, it's basically, if you're concerned about performance, go to DirectX 11. Don't bother with DirectX 12. If you want ray tracing, then go to DirectX 12. If you want ray tracing, but you don't quite have the performance there, obviously you need DirectX 12, and go to FSR or DLSS is my feeling there. Or XeSS if you've got an ARC GPU. If you don't have an ARC GPU, but you have a GPU that can do the ray tracing, it's up to you what you want, FSR2 or DLSS. Quality-wise, I think it's going to be personal preference, which is great. I mean, let's be honest. That's where we want that to be. That's good competition there. Now, true, that's only the case for this game. There's going to be other games where that's not true, where one will be superior to the other because of certain implementation stuff. But it's like that where this is actually in a good place, in my opinion. So, and I will hopefully be able to write that competently in what I write up. All right, so now I will stop. We're not quite to 3 hours. I could probably keep talking for 5 minutes, but I don't think anyone wants that. So yeah, I mean, it's lots of talking, and I don't know how many of these screenshots I'm going to be using that I've taken. But yeah, I mean, this is. I'm sorry, I can't look away from that. Not when the difference is so stark. But it is also weird just how noisy some of this is. And I'm not entirely sure why. I can guess that they are just using some jittering intentionally to, like, it's meant to be done with TA. But that is not quite how I would do it. Anyway, that's just me. And I don't know. That is sheer guesswork on my part, and I shouldn't do it quite like that. Yeah, that's all. See you next time. I gotta get to data collection. There we go. Actually finish saying the word. Goodbye.